Hello friends, in this video we are going to talk about this Bernoulli-Hartley method. It is one of the most prominent and important method for the measurement of the osmotic pressure. We have already talked about two methods, that was the Pfeffer's method and Morse and Fraser's method. That was also for the measurement of the osmotic pressure, but in this video we will find that this Bernoulli and Hartley method are more prominent for the measurement of the osmotic pressure as compared to the other two methods described. So without any delay, let us start our today's discussion about this Bernoulli and Hartley method. As you can see that here I have tried to draw the basic apparatus which will tell us about the principle of this Bernoulli and Hartley method. As we can see, I have labeled it as A, B, C, D and E. This A and this B are the two concentric tube. Okay, basically we will fill this tube A with the pure solvent and this tube B with the solution. Okay, and we can see that this tube A has two openings, one in this side tube E and other in this side tube D. Okay, basically this side tube E is kind of a reservoir tube from which we will add the solvent in this tube A, and this tube D is kind of an indicator tube. We will talk about it in later in this video. And at C, and we will apply pressure on this. Okay, so without any delay, let us see a much more clear diagram about this Bernoulli and Hartley method. As you can see that here it is the Bernoulli and Hartley apparatus in much more detailed way, where we can see that this tube is been filled with the water, that is the pure solvent, and this tube, the outer tube, is been filled with the solution. And we can also see that this inner tube has a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, the semi-permeable membrane consists of the copper ferrocyanide deposited in its wall. Okay, and we can see that this inner tube has two openings, one here in this reservoir tube and one here in this indicator tube. And we can see that the outer tube which contains the solution in which the pressure is being applied, and here there is a pressure gauge for the measurement of the pressure. So basically what happens when due to osmosis we know that this water, the solvent molecule, will tends to flow towards this solution. Okay, by crossing this semi-permeable membrane. Okay, will tends to flow towards this solution by crossing this semi-permeable membrane. Okay, and this this capillary tube is termed as the indicator tube. And so if the water molecule will tends to flow towards this solvent, then this indicator tube, the water in this indicator tube will tends to, the level of the water in this indicator tube will tends to fall. Okay, so basically what is being done, external pressure is being applied on this solution. Okay, here external pressure is being applied on this solution in order that there is no more shift in the level of the water in this capillary tube. In other words, we can say that to maintain the stationary level of the water in this capillary tube, the external pressure is being applied. And when this is being achieved, when the water is made at a stationary level in this capillary tube, then we will measure the amount of the pressure being applied via this pressure gauge, and that pressure will tell us about the osmotic pressure of the solution. So now we will talk about some of the important conditions for this method. Let us see. The conditions are, the first condition is the solute which we are using must be non-volatile. Okay, the solute must be non-volatile. The second condition is the solute should not undergo either dissociation or association. Solute should not undergo dissociation, either dissociation or association. Okay, the solute should not undergo either dissociation or association, and the final condition is the solution must be dilute. The solution must be dilute but not more than 5%. Okay, so these are the three conditions which must be fulfilled in order to perform this method. Okay, first one is the solute must be non-volatile, second one is the solute should not undergo either dissociation or association, and the third one is the solution must be dilute but not more than 5%. And the advantage of this method is that the semi-permeable membrane used here is quite of a good semi-permeable membrane, because we used here the copper ferrocyanide and it will not burst upon exerting the pressure. So it will provide a prominent method for the measurement of the osmotic pressure. Okay, and this method is quite quick as compared to the other two methods which we have described earlier, that Pfeffer's and Morse and Fraser's method. Okay, I hope that this video is quite helpful to you. For more video on the chemistry lecture, please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you. See you in the next video.